Welcome back. In this lesson, we'll be talking about why social media is important. It seems that a lot of entertainers, I would argue that most magicians even suffer from this idea that social media is not super important, that it should be on the back burner, it's not a priority. Yes, you don't need social media, but you also don't need a website. You also don't need a business card. Having all of those things, including social media, is going to help your omnipresence and will help you be geared to win and succeed. Especially when everyone has a device in their hand and they're going to be on YouTube, they're going to be on Facebook, they're going to be on Instagram, and the most viewed apps or used apps on their phone is going to be their social media sites. I can almost guarantee that. Why are we not focused on showing up there? If marketing is just the idea of getting eyeballs on as much of our stuff as possible, getting seen by as many people, our name to be out there in the world as much as possible, why are we not posting on social media? Stop ignoring it. Social media should be treated with as much time and attention as your websites. It is a window for clients to look into and see what our life is like. We are the product, and they want to look at the product. They want to see what they're buying. And trust me, clients will be checking. When making an important decision, clients will scour for information. They'll look for anything and everything they can on you to help inform whether or not they want to move forward. Remember when you bought your camera for Zoom, or your microphone, or even your sound system for your live shows, or perhaps even your new car? You probably watched videos. You got educated. You watched comparison videos. You watched reviews. You probably went to the company's website and saw the videos that they made, right? A lot of the time, our shows are a big purchase for people. Even if you're just doing birthday parties and charging $500, that is a big purchase. Even if you're charging $300, that is a big purchase for a lot of people. They're going to want to scour for information. They're going to want to compare options. They're going to want to see what information is available about you and see what it looks like to work with you. Posting on social media will help clients trust you. The more active you are, the more capable you seem. I always tell this story about when I was looking for sneaker cleaner, because I always wear these. Here we go. I always wear these crazy sneakers. And they're expensive, and I don't want to have to keep on buying them, so I try to take good care of them. There is so many brands out there. There are so many brands that sell shoe cleaning equipment. They sell chemicals or sponges or tools. And the company I ended up going with, Reshoevn8r, is the one that I use, because they just absolutely had the most videos on social media. I was able to go there and see that they were posting almost every single day, in some cases twice a day, and I went, wow, these guys are living, eating, and breathing this stuff. I should trust them. Looking at your engagement, when a client comes and looks at the comments or the likes, or they see that you're having conversations with people on Facebook, or that you have a couple of clients that post you on their story, whatever it is, it makes you feel in demand. Even if you just have 3 comments on something, the client will see that and say, oh, here are 3 other people that know that this is out here. 3 people who are engaging with him on a post that probably wasn't even that relevant. You know what I mean? Like if you have comments, like even just 3 comments on a post, and a client sees that, they now know that there are at least 3 other people looking at your stuff. And that may not seem like a lot, but in that moment to them, that's significant. And then repeated exposure. Repeated exposure is so important in marketing, especially if they hit that follow button and they're still trying to make a decision, and they're going to have a committee meeting next week. They'll be able to see all the posts you're making for a week. And the more that you're posting, the more they're going to see you before they have to make the decision. And repeated exposure always works. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups knows that you don't just see one commercial and get off your couch and go buy a Reese's. But they know that if you see Reese's everywhere you're going, if you see those ads every time you're on YouTube or watching the Super Bowl, they know that when it comes time to pick a candy bar, you can trust Reese's. Reese's is reliable. They're a good choice. People like them, and they're not just some sketchy brand that might give you food poisoning. That repeated exposure. Give them enough to exit when they consume their fill. It's always a bad sign when a client can watch all your videos and has to hit the back button because they watched everything. Instead, give them so much content that they can eat their fill of your content. They can watch as much as they want to, hit the back button, and know there's still more waiting for them, knowing that they haven't explored your whole world yet. That gives you depth. Your brand should have depth. When I was looking at how to set up my iPhone to use my camera for these types of videos, I would go to certain channels. I would watch 1 or 2 videos. They would be 20 minutes long of, on these pages that did tutorials for this. And I was able to watch enough for what I needed and feel like, okay, that's enough time I've spent on this page. Hit that subscribe button, hit the back button, and know that if I need more resources, I can come back. Okay. Posting will help the client know and like you. And as you know, the pillars of good sales and marketing is making people know, like, and trust you. The more a client knows you, the more they will see how to set you up for a good show. When they know that you're a people person, when they see your videos about how you love to drink coconut water or Red Bull, they may have those for you at the gig. They'll know your personality types, what your requests are, how you behave, and they'll be able to gear you for a really good show. This happens to me all the time, by the way. The Red Bull and coconut water is a real thing. I get offered coconut water at my shows all the time because I constantly post about how much I love them. Mr. Clean Magic Erasers are another one people will always joke with me about. I don't need them for my show, but people always start commenting because they know I'm a big fan. I always joke about how I should be sponsored by Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Heck, it has magic in the name. Okay, when clients can see what you how you perform, what you need, you know what I mean? They know exactly how to gear you up for a good show. A good example of this is Reshoevn8r. I've very much thought about sending my shoes to them to get it professionally cleaned. I've watched their videos and I've seen that they can professionally clean them far better than I can with their products at home. One of the things that has stopped me from pulling the trigger on that is that I have some shoes that just seem too dirty. They're going to be so disappointed in me if I send these shoes. Like, it looks like I didn't even try. But when I watch their videos, I found that they actually prefer it when we don't try to clean our shoes, because then we may harm them with chemicals. We may be too abrasive when trying to get stains that won't be removed, that cause scratches that they can't get out. I actually learned that they prefer it when you just send a shoe, as dirty as it is, they don't care, send it to them without putting chemicals on it, without damaging it. That's how they like that to be. And I only know that from watching so many of their videos and seeing that and realizing that, okay, I should get out of my own head and send them my shoes to be clean. Okay. You'll also find that when clients know you because they've been seeing your content, they'll be more themselves. And that's a really freeing thing. They'll actually enjoy being able to work with you because they'll see you as an outlet for them to just be who they are. Especially in the corporate world, this is really important. But we all have those birthday party clients or anniversary housewarming clients where they're just so professional with us on the phone, and they're treating dealing with us like depositing money at the bank or doing something really formal. But when they can just be themselves, we'll create a strong connection with them and likely get hired more and be a more positive force in their life. People will also be able to self-select, and this is freeing. If a client watches your stuff and you're just being you on your videos, don't be afraid of being you. Because if they don't like what they see, they'll decide not to work with you. And nobody wants to work with a client that doesn't like you for who you are. But the clients who do like your style, who do find you funny, who do think that you're like them, will hire you. And those are the clients you want to be performing for. The ones who think like you, act like you, and have fun the same way that you do. And when this happens, you're almost guaranteeing that the gigs that you're performing at are going to go off better because you're in your element, you're with your crowd. A good example of this is Dan Sperry. He spoke at a convention I was at once. And he even calls his fans abracabastards. And he appeals to a lot of the grunge, goth, more edgy type clients. And of course he wants to work for those people. He can be himself. He's in his element when that happens. He doesn't want to get hired by somebody who doesn't like who he is or likes his brand. That would be miserable for him and the client. And of course, when a client knows, likes, and trusts you, they will pay more. Posting on social media is like spending time with somebody for each time they're watching your videos or seeing your content, they're spending a brief moment of time with you. There are people in this course who I feel close with, who I've never met in person a day in my life, who I've probably rarely, other than applying for this course, spoken to on the phone, but just because I see their content and they see mine, we have this relationship, this feeling. Stop focusing on your friends and family and other magicians online and start focusing on your clients and creating that same type of connection. Okay, I'm going to start moving a little bit faster through this. Document, don't create. Your creative content can still live on these pages. You can still post your creative art pieces, your magic tricks. You can still post your really high quality edits. That's okay. And they'll actually stand out on your page when you do that. But your page doesn't have to just be full of one thing. You can have flagship content. You can have your weekly YouTube video that's really high quality that comes out every single week. But just post what you're doing throughout the day on the other days. Document, don't create. It will be exhausting for you to try and create some sort of new content every single day, for you to schedule out the time to film a magic trick, to write a script, to go to a location, to buy an outfit, to edit the video. You can ditch all that and just do that occasionally when you get the burst of inspiration or motivation to do that. Instead, just film the things that you're already doing. Talk about what emails you're going to be sending that day, what you're working on in your show, how you set up for a gig. Hey guys, just making this post to wish you a wonderful day. I know I'm going to have a wonderful day performing for 2 companies today. I'm performing for Reed Smith and Capital One, and I know we're going to knock it out of the park. I'll keep you updated with what the setup looks like once I get there, but for now, stay positive. Boom, there's a post. There is a post right there, and it shows people, hey, I'm working. It shows them that you're positive, and it shows them that you're comfortable on camera and you have a good presence. So just focus on documenting, okay? We'll talk a little bit about this more in this module. Here's a good little example of how to split documenting and creating. Documenting is stuff like, showing your day-to-day personality, completing tasks, showing your setup, your booking process, arriving at gigs. What do you do when you arrive to gigs? Have a selfie stick with your phone and just, come out and welcome the client and say hello to people and get their initial reaction to you when you show up. That'd be really fun content for you to post on your social media. You can also post videos of you first logging onto a Zoom call and greeting people. Maybe you have a running gag where every time you show up on a Zoom show, you ask the person, hey, do you have a tomato? Can you go get a tomato? And you make everybody get a tomato, and that's just a funny thing you do. You don't explain it. You don't even say why, and you just post that every time you're about to do a Zoom call so that your followers start to see that this is a thing that you do. That consistency says, oh, this is just a thing he does. That's funny. I'm in the in-group. I get the joke. I'm a part of this inside joke. I'm just making this up as I'm going, but you see how easy it is to create content. When we talk about documenting, just think vlog style or talking head videos. And one of the greatest ways to use these is to answer questions before they can even ask them. If I find that I'm saying something on the phone every single time I get on the phone with a client, or I'm answering the same question a lot, I'll go ahead and just make those videos and have clients watch them before we talk on the phone. Or when they ask me that question, I can just say, hey, I have a video that actually explains all this. I'd love to send it to you after the call so you can watch it. But my short answer is, and now you're showing up as an expert. They can tell that you deal with clients a lot because you already have these questions answered. And when you can answer people's questions on a video, it solidifies what you're telling them as true, as knowledgeable, as trustworthy, and it makes you have authority. Okay, creating. This is magic trick videos. This is trailers. This is promo videos. This is skits. This is performance clips, tutorials, reaction videos, anything where you're physically taking time out of your day to create a video, to edit it, to put something out there for the world that isn't related to your actual job or your daily life. It may be related to your job, but not your daily life. It's not documenting. Before going into this module, I want to tell you that you're going to need to get really good at not only posting the highlights of your life. Yeah, maintain your brand and your energy. Don't just be like a pessimist, be negative, and be a killjoy. But also don't be afraid to show the parts of your day that don't go as smoothly. Here's an example for you. This was, I'm going to pause this music. This is a time when I was performing at a university, and I think only 4 people showed up because they didn't market it properly. Watch this.
I will say, this is the week right before Thanksgiving. A lot of students have off next week. So they go home Friday morning after the classes and stay home all next week and then come back. So we're doing a show in one of the most dead weeks in the university, which that's okay. You can still get the students who are gone something excited to reward them for staying a little longer. A lot of times that's what they want, is to just incentivize students a break, to make sure it's a safe environment, and those who maybe don't have the best at-home living situations still feel comfortable being here. So just a little rundown of kind of what's going on. We've got a few people in the room, not enough to really do a full show. If we don't have enough for a full show, we'll bring the show to them and walk around campus and do magic that way. So kind of street magic style, which you guys already know I can do a lot of. So, Steve Jobs said it's not about the results that an employee can get, but the effort that they put in, that's what should be rewarded. Because sometimes the market is what decides whether or not people are actually going to be responsive to them. So, here we go. Turn around. I want you to think of the song in your mind. So this is a song that is important to you. This is
Okay, anyway, so you can see I still showed up, I still performed. I had another example pulled up where a bunch of my props got wet, and I filmed me with a selfie stick in my phone, and I asked the client's permission to do that. I had to tell the client that all my props got wet and that I was going to take care of it and I was going to still put on a good show. I just wanted to let them know that a couple of things I had planned weren't going to be able to happen. Also, the big banner that they had requested that I had gotten wet and the ink had ran on it. And I had that, and I recorded that conversation. And I'm not trying to hide that from my clients. I don't want them to not have to see that part of my life. And that's real, that's authentic, and that's good content there. So don't just post your highlights and the things that make you look good. Get really good at not getting it right. Posting every day really allows a pass on quality. If you missed a mark, guess what? You get to try again tomorrow. And being visible and a part of people's daily lives is way more important than putting out a masterpiece. I can guarantee you that. And if worse comes to worse, there is a delete button. If you post something and it ends up getting some negative feedback, or somebody told you that they didn't like it, or you just feel insecure about it for whatever reason, there is a delete button. Once you hit the delete button, I promise you, yes, things that are posted on the internet live forever, but I doubt anybody's hacking into the mainframe of Instagram trying to break the community guidelines to pull out a post of yours that was deleted, unless you're getting canceled by the FBI. I don't know. So the delete button is okay. Yes, the internet is for forever, but most clients who come to our page aren't going to go through every single post we've ever made. They're going to look at the most recent ones, and if we've deleted something, I promise you they're not going to see it. Also get really good at talking to the void, okay? It's not a 1-to-1 ratio of, hey, I'm going to post and now I'm going to start getting engagement. It will take 2 to 3 weeks of posting consistently before you start seeing, friends and distant family start showing up in your life. But the more you're posting and the more people are seeing you, the more they'll have a chance to reach out. It even on average takes about 7 posts of yours for somebody to actually stop and watch it. So that means on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, you have to get scrolled past 7 times before they finally decide to watch a video. With that said, make sure your 7th post is a good one. So talking to the void, this would have stopped you before. A lot of you would have given up if you were posting and you weren't seeing any results from it, but not anymore. Not after committing to going through this course. Not after saying, hey, I want to make change. Because what stops most people from being successful online and on social media is the fact that they stop when nothing's coming out of it. You have to keep on putting those tokens in. You got to keep on polling that until you hit the jackpot, and then you will set sail and be free. So post without the need for validation and attention. It will come when you are at the right place at the right time. And the only way to guarantee you'll be at the right place at the right time is just to be at the right place every single time. When the right time comes along, you'll be there. That day that you're too tired to post could have been the day that you went viral. That day that you're too tired to post could have been the day that a client watched that video and decided to hire you. Be in the moment. Don't get bogged down by thinking about the big picture and what your brand is going to look like and how this is going to affect your page and who's going to see this. Just live in the moment. Post what you want to post. Go day to day. People who visit your page will be living in the moment too. And viewers aren't overanalyzing our content. They're not looking to poke holes in things the way that we are. In fact, the fact that we're even posting consistently makes us look like more of an expert on social media than they are. They're going to assume that there's a reason that we're doing everything. If we post something, they'll see it as more artistic and thought out, and they'll assume that they are the ones who just don't get it, not that we are just not operating properly. What they're seeing is momentary. So let's just start by having fun with stories on Instagram and Facebook posts. These are really low-hanging fruit. These are things that people will just see, acknowledge for a moment, and scroll past. Your Instagram stories are great because they're not very formal posts. I will have some examples of those, and we'll talk more about what Instagram stories are in just a little while. But get used to posting on your story a couple times a day. When you have a thought that you think is interesting, get in the habit of pulling out your phone and record you talking about that. Something funny happens, get in the habit of pulling out your phone and record it. Try to capture those moments, treat it like a game, and just try to get as many as you can every single day. You can get a backlog of them if you don't post them all, but try to post 3 to 5 times in your stories just to start. Get used to that. Really feel comfortable with it. Try to engage with the people who watch it. Follow up with them. We'll talk so much more about that later on. And Facebook posts, super easy. When you have an interesting thought, post it up. Something funny happened, record a video of you talking about it. You'll see me do this all the time in the GYST group. I get an idea, I pull out my phone, I share with you what I'm thinking about, and I post it, and it gets a ton of comments. I engage with people, and you can see how that has actually directly contributed to my success. This whole course came from me just having ideas and pulling out my phone and making videos that I wasn't sure about and didn't know if people would care about, but obviously they did, and I amassed a massive following, got over 430 people in a Facebook group, I think over 1,000 new friends on Facebook, and now have this course with 20 members that have signed up. So, and that all came from me just pulling out my phone every day and posting ideas that I had. I promise you, doesn't it look like I had a plan? Doesn't it look like I knew what I was doing? I was just doing exactly what you guys would have been doing in that situation and figuring out as I went. Yes, I knew the information. Yes, I'm an expert at these things, but I didn't know the right proper format to put it in. I just tried it. I just had fun with it, and I lived in the moment. You will get comfortable very quickly. I got comfortable very quickly, and you may even strike gold. All right, guys. Keep going through these modules. We've got a lot more to learn. This is just some of the things I want you to start thinking about with social media. Hopefully this convinced you that it is important and that it is going to be pivotal in your career. All right, guys. See you later.